everybody. I hope you're having a great day. I am. Remember me, Mary Jane Bruce, your International Village teacher. And we've been reading this book, The Big Book of Where. I've been enjoying my tour of Africa. I hope you have been too. Today we're going to talk about Namibia. I think that's a really neat name. I've been practicing it. So help me come along now and let's learn something about it. It says, where is the Skeleton Coast? That's our question today. And we're going to learn what the Skeleton Coast is and where it is. Here it is in Africa, and this is our map, and it's in the south part of Africa. So it says, according to my computer, I went and looked up on Wikipedia, it says it's officially the Republic of Namibia. And it is a country in southern Africa. Its western border is the Atlantic Ocean, so we got the water beside it. It shares land borders with Zambia and Angola to the north, Botswana is to the east, and South Africa to the south and the east. I found out that the capital is called Windhoek. Can you say it with me? Windhoek is the capital. Okay, so it's a very interesting country that I've been reading about. And Namibia is part of or a member of the United Nations. So let's read in our book here. So the Skeleton Coast used to be the name for the entire coastline of Namibia, the driest country in Africa south of the Sahara Desert. Back when the world depended on whale oil for fuel, the name referred to all the whale bones left by the sailors who hunted them. In modern times, the name is referred to because of all the shipwrecks along the beach. Today, Skeleton Coast refers mainly to the national park in the northern part of Namibia. The park is so remote that it has only a few access roads. Most visitors come on flying safaris, and there is plenty to see. Huge windswept dunes give way to dry salt flats, rugged canyons, reddish orange volcanic rock, and strange clay formations. Can you imagine going to visit there? Wouldn't you love to go exploring? I know I would. Do you know what sand dunes are? Well, in case you don't, I went and looked it up online. When we don't know what something is, then find out. Somehow, some way we can find out what it is. So it says that sand dunes are mounds of wind-blown sand which vary greatly in size, from less than 1 meter to tens of meters high. The size depends upon the supply of sand. There is even greater variation in the area covered by the dunes. Many of the more recognizable dunes, forms or ridges or complexes of mounds or crescents. So here's a picture here that kind of gives us an idea what the sand dunes are. I think they're really interesting. I don't think I've ever really seen any up close that I can recall, but maybe one day I will. So along our journey here, I found some interesting animals. One of my favorite animals is the elephant. And it says here they're sand surfing elephants. I never heard that terminology before, but that's pretty cool. It may not seem possible, but the world's biggest land animals, elephants, also live in the Namibia desert. Over the years, these elephants have adapted to their dry environments. They have slightly smaller bodies and bigger feet than other African elephants, which make it easier for them to walk on the sands. That's really cool, isn't it? They've even been filmed surfing down a dune to get to water. That would have been cool to see, wouldn't it? The desert elephants have learned to walk long distances to find water and know how to dig for water underground. And here's a picture of a big elephant and looks like probably the mommy and the baby elephant walking along down there. Well, I found out about a neat plant that's down there too in Namibia. It's the elephant's foot plant. It's native to that desert. Its round bottom stem can grow up to about 3 feet in diameter. So it's an interesting plant here. You can't see it very well in this picture, but it's pretty interesting. It has the bulb at the bottom and the things growing up from it. The next thing that's interesting that I found out about is the fog basking beetle. It drinks the moisture that collects on its body. Well, I wanted to know more about those fog basking beetles. So there again, I went online and I looked up and it says the fog basking beetle gets its water source from the fog through special biological adaptations. When the fog rolls in at night or early in the morning, these beetles climb to the peak of the dunes where the water condensation is most dense. The beetle then performs a handstand. Do you know what that is? Where you stand up on your hands? By lowering its head and raising its posture. The fog condescends on its back and drips into the mouth parts. Isn't that cool? The fog basking beetle. I would like to see one of those sometime. So here we have the huge big elephant, and then we have the little bitty beetle that are there out in the Namibia. The cold ocean current carry lots of nutrients, including plankton and krill by the ton. And if you don't know what that is, you can ask your science teacher because they can tell you about that. It also brings plenty of fish for the thousands of hungry Cape fur seals that breed on the Skeleton Coast. I like seals. I think they're so cute. I've never seen them in real life, but I've seen them like at water parks, and they're so neat. Okay, so it's time. It's trivia time. I hope you were listening when I was talking to you about this wonderful place, Namibia. Maybe one day I'll get to visit. Maybe one day you'll get to visit. Maybe one day we'll get there. So the first question, what are the two animals that we talked about in our session today? Do you remember? One of them is really, 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 really big, and one of them is really, 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 really small. Yep, you got it. The elephant is one of them. And the next one is, do you remember? Yep, that's right, the fog basking beetle. So I think you listened really well. And if you have any more questions, ask your teacher. And I hope to see you soon. And we'll read some more of our book and travel more throughout Africa. Bye-bye for now.